The Propcast on the Sports Gamble Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. They're coming to customers. Play just $5. Get $75 bonus funds. We use promo code SGPN.
And Peggy the shot, the ground downfield. He gets the catch, and he gets in for the touchdown. The catch is made by Calvin Ridley. Wilson, as he throws deep.
And welcome, everyone, to the Propcast here on the Sports Gamble Podcast Network. Currently Tuesday morning, December 23rd, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Rachel, once again joined by Roseberg, but different format than normal because we have bonus games during the weekday of the NFL season because we have some upcoming games taking place on Christmas. Thursday NFL games, not just one, but three of them. Do any of them look good? No, but that doesn't matter. We have actual content taking place on a holiday. We are going to break down our favorite props for those games. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
Nothing. Sick kids, holidays. Just want to get through these garbage games. So it's just like half of them don't even have quarterbacks, right?
Basically, yeah. So if you are not exactly aware of the three games we are referring to here, the three games that will be taking place, once again, brace yourself because it's going to be pretty ugly. So you have the Cowboys taking on the Commanders. Both teams eliminated already. A reminder that Mariota is currently injured, so it might be a Josh Johnson quarterback game there. For Thursday, you have the Lions, who are technically not eliminated but still not in great shape, taking on the Vikings, who are eliminated. A reminder, McCarthy got injured in the last game, so Brosmer might be the quarterback for Minnesota.
I think Brosmer is preparing to start.
I agree, especially on a short week. And then the last game, you have the Chiefs taking on the Broncos. Broncos, of course, are fighting for a 1 seed. Chiefs got eliminated, and they got buried by the Titans right afterwards. A reminder, Mahomes is out for the year. Minshew's out for the year. So they have a third-string quarterback. So,
do you know his name?
Olajuwon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about it because
I remember he used to be an FCS guy because I remembered that name when I saw it, but I forgot what school he actually played at.
Should we guess? Let's guess. Let's both guess. Sounds like a North Dakota guy.
I want to say I thought he used to be a Jackrabbit. I thought he was South Dakota State.
Okay, so so both of us agree that it's a Dakota.
It's a Dakota, but I think it was South Dakota State. That name sounded very familiar when I actually heard that he was coming into the game. I think it was South Dakota State.
Well, let's check. Let's see this. Chris Odukin.
Yeah. I think
Olajuwon.
I feel pretty good about South Dakota State, to be honest.
All right.
And I did not cheat, by the way. I did not
we're
look
wrong.
it up.
Okay, so we're right. Okay, so he went to 3 colleges.
Okay.
South Florida, Samford, South Dakota State.
Thank you very much. I will take that. I think I bet on him once in the FCS. That's why I remember it. But there you go. The Chiefs have an FCS quarterback as their quarterback. So, Netflix, not a great investment for the Christmas games this year.
Second straight.
Yeah, but I'm saying the previous year actually had some games that mattered. This is pretty disgusting.
They were terrible. They were terrible.
All the games were individually terrible, but the ratings were still fine. It's on Netflix, so if you want to watch NBA on Christmas, I would understand. But either way, the point is we got props. We're going to talk about our favorite plays in this one. Do you want to recap what happened last episode? Overall pretty good. Went 2-1 for me. Unfortunately, Warren went under by about 4 yards because he had 3 catches on 9 targets. So Warren had a bunch of chances. Kittle flew over in the first half. And then, of course, Fast Eddie came through despite missing a 64-yard field goal off the crossbar. Damn, these balls are juiced. But either way, he ended up getting there anyway. So pretty good episode for us. We thought the Niners would kill him. Took a bit longer than normal. I know you hit a pleaser with the Niners alt spread. But yeah, the Niners won by 3 touchdowns, which was what we basically said was going to happen. So
I don't know why that steamed down to 4.
I didn't get it either.
I saw that and I hit it on shout out to a bookie that you and I both use, Paul. He's awesome. Yeah. And if people want to use Paul's site, hit us up. But I was like, I put it down on Paul. I was like, why is this 4? I was like, is Brock Purdy out? Like, what the hell? Yeah. What the heck's the deal? So yeah, no, I agree. I remember I texted you. I was like, that first drive felt like it took an hour.
Yeah, it did, but it only took like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know how we lost Warren and the longest reception under.
Well, the longest reception under was cruising, and then the Niners just let Pierce go, who was really one of the only guys.
But what I'm saying is like their best yak guy got under. Like it should have been correlated.
Correlated. They just forgot to guard Pierce on one route in like the final 5 minutes, and he just caught a deep pass. So it's unfortunate. The Warren one was a pain in the ass. He got a bunch of targets. He was open in the red zone for a touchdown. Rivers underthrew him. There were a couple of opportunities there, and the pick six, coincidentally, was the last target that Warren had in the entire game. So
it also killed our king of the end zone, Demarcus Robinson.
Yes, it did. And it's even more annoying because you know that I always take defense and special teams for that market, but I pivoted to kickoff.
I was so surprised when you texted me because you and I both take them, and you said, yeah, I took Sky Moore.
The reason why I actually took Moore, one was because he actually got some snaps on offense, but second of all, I looked it up and I found out that kickoffs do not count towards the defense or special teams for this promo, which I read in the actual rules. I won the Patriots one.
A bad number on a defensive TD.
I won the no, because you can still get the punt return in theory, which I got on the Patriots a couple of weeks ago. That's why it worked out. Except the problem with that is the fact that one, I think the Niners defense is actually kind of common because a lot of people were just picking Rivers to suck. And second of all, if Moore did get there, I mean, that would have just been an insane potential reward. So I swung for it. But yeah, it ended up getting destroyed. Because the Niners defense got a pick six. So
I mean, the Niners defense allowed Rivers to throw underneath, and then they just tackled. Like that was the thing. Like I don't know if the defense is common as much as it was. The game plan was very clearly, we don't think Rivers is going to beat us with deep ball. So we're going to let everybody catch in front of it. It's very similar to like a Brian Flores.
Well, he threw two deep balls basically the entire game. Both were drastically underthrown.
Right.
And then Pierce caught the one late, but the first two weren't close.
Right. But like they were basically like, we trust our guys to tackle and limit the yardage, and which they did.
Yeah.
Like, so people, I mean, also, by the way, I don't know why Rivers would be starting again the rest of the season because they're eliminated.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't really get it either, but yeah, I want to point out the reason why I did take more, by the way, at the end was since kickoffs were not included for the defense special teams, the Colts have the lowest touchback percentage in the entire league. That's why I went for Sky Moore.
You took that I remember you said, well, you took that a couple weeks ago too, right?
I took the Patriots defense special teams and that won because that was
No. I meant for the same angle.
Yeah.
Wasn't it with the Colts?
I think
we had something with the Colts that you
either way. The point is, I chose to do the kickoffs a bit more because they never kick touchbacks ever, and that was my logic. But in hindsight, of course, yeah, defense special teams would have won that random promo. But whatever.
I mean, my logic was ball go boom.
Oh no, yours is great because yours were leading for about 95% of the game.
So I was just because everyone. It's like, well, what do you like? I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember even if it was the same rules as like first TD, last TD versus longest. Yeah. And someone was like, "Who do you like?" I'm like Demarcus Robinson, and this is like, well, what if it's no, that's not the last TD or first TD. That's the longest. I'm like, yeah, still Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, it's fine. The thing about the actual promo, the last point I'll make is there's a couple of approaches. Either one, you pick who you think's just going to score, and that way you get your money back if they end up scoring, basically. Or no, technically you still make money because you win your bet. But of course, the bonus is not going to be great. Or you swing for it and say, look, it's a $5 investment, and there's a chance that I can make out of like a $300 bonus bet. I'm going to swing for it. We always choose option B.
Yeah.
It's $5. Like we're willing to invest $5 for a chance to win your actual touchdown bet and also pick up potentially a really nice bonus bet. So we always swing for it. That's our logic. That's why you pick Robinson and why I picked the kick returner in Sky Moore, who I'm not sure has ever scored a touchdown in his entire NFL career. But anyway.
Didn't he against the Eagles in that Super Bowl?
He might have. I honestly don't remember. I always watched him on the Chiefs and remember going, wow, this guy's terrible. And
he was he was highly touted, but anyway,
he was a very good player in the MAC. He just never
West Virginia, Western Michigan, right?
I believe so, and so is Eskridge from the Seahawks, who I loved in college, but that didn't work out. But anyway, we're time to actually get into our picks. Before we get into the actual plays, though, a reminder, get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient location, SGPN app, download for free in the App Store. Just type in SGPN for access to all of our free picks and podcasts on the network. So, moving on to our actual props here for the Christmas games. Adam, what is going to be your first player prop?
First one's going to be the guy we just talked about, Chris Oladukin.
That's why I remember it. I just think of, just throwbacks to old fighting games.
Yeah. We're going to take his...
That was Street Fighter, right? Hadouken.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that wasn't Mortal Kombat. That was Street Fighter. Okay, cool.
So I'm going to take his over rushing. Reason being, Denver. Well, first of all, the Chiefs have no offensive line. Denver has a massive pass rush and has every reason to. They clinch the division if they
off a really bad game against Jacksonville too. That defense should be pissed.
Yeah. So they should be able to eat here. Ironically, the last action that Oladukin got was as a Tennessee Titan. And he got sacked against the Denver Broncos, and I think it was against the Tennessee Titans. It was, Let me see. It was Chiefs Broncos last year. Chiefs Broncos last year. He got in apparently for a play, and he got sacked, but he still ran for 5 yards. So,
nice.
Nice, right? So anyway, we're gonna take his rush. Part of the reason why I like that also is because Denver forces the third highest designed rush quarterback plays of anybody else, probably because they do so much pass rush. So their percentage since week 9 is at 10%, which is pretty crazy. They also force the third highest scramble rate. A lot of ways this gets there. The average scramble yards also is 7. So this is all stuff that we really like. Give shout out to FTN. That's where we get this data. People always ask, where do you get that? Well, it's an FTN. So, I really like that. I don't really feel the need. We're at the point in the season, you and I talked about this, where we're trying to wind down the NFL stuff. Like, we don't need extra stuff.
Because a lot of these teams don't care.
Right. And normally, we've had a very successful NFL season. If you've tailed us, you've made you should be up somewhere between 40 units and 70 units if you've tailed every single thing that you
and you have a tracker for that on Pickett.
And I have a tracker for that on Pickett. Yeah. Like there's absolutely zero way that you've lost money tailing us this season.
Yeah.
That being said, is there a ladder possibility? Yeah. Do I feel like the need to do that? Not really. But I'm going to take the alt at 15 at plus money plus 114.
Cool. So I'm going to stay in the same game. I'm going to go with Pacheco, and I'm going to go with his longest reception, under 8.5 yards at minus 125. We know Pacheco has been kind of a meme over the years for being really just a terrible receiving back. And last week, he actually had a pretty good game. However, I do want to point out that his longest catch has gone under 8.5 yards in 5 of his last 7. Now, last week, he had a 31-yard catch on a broken play where the quarterback ran around and Pacheco was randomly wide open after he scrambled around for an extra 5 seconds. He caught it and he ran. Nobody was near him. They forgot to guard him. However, I'm going to point out in that game, he had 6 catches for 41 yards total, which means if you take out the 31-yard outlier broken play, he had 5 catches for 10 yards. His longest catch is at 8.5. I'm going to point out Denver's been great against opposing running backs this season. Broncos are allowing the second fewest receiving yards per game to opposing running backs. Point is, though, Pacheco, I know, is not a great receiving back in general. 8.5 feels like a pretty large longest catch for a guy that just does not have great hands and for a guy that's gone under this in 5 of the last 7, and now he's against a really good defense. Pacheco might catch a couple of passes. I just think he'll get tackled relatively immediately. So based on that, I'll go with the longest reception under for Pacheco, 8.5 yards, minus 125.
Yeah,
thoughts?
I love it.
It feels like an overreaction to one broken play from last week.
I don't know how Pacheco's going to get any movement. Also, why would they use Pacheco a ton when they're out of it? They have nobody out there. Just throw Brashard Smith in there.
Yeah, I feel like the argument is Pacheco is a guy who you maybe just wanted to try to be a bit more physical with the ground game without your actual quarterback. But the point is, I think Smith should play more in general. At least give him a look. You converted basically a wide receiver to running back. You might want to just let him maybe start a game or two at this point and see what happens. But either way, Pacheco played. It was 70+% of the snaps last week. So that might be why, but he's still not a pass catcher either way. And Denver's defense, as you said, is very good, and they've been great against running backs. So give me Pacheco, longest catch under 8.5 yards at -125 as my first play. Moving on to your second play. What do you like?
I'm going to go with, this is a play that's going to this is also something that Rhythm likes. We're going to take RJ Harvey under 14.5 rush attempts. He's only over this twice, and both of those were in competitive games. This is not going, I don't think this is going to be a competitive game. It's under in every other game this season. They're 2 touchdown faves. This is not crazy. So this is a little bit that they're also, he's also just not what they use him for. They use him much more in a passing game type of situation. We've actually hit this a couple times this year. But again, I really like this. It's a Rhythm play. Shout out to Rhythm, which is they're about to release some cool things coming up. So that being said, RJ Harvey under 14.5 rush attempts.
Yeah, they also rotate some random guys. I know Batty got some touches last week. They don't only use Harvey as their running back. So, yeah, that could work out in a couple of ways. But, yeah, I can definitely get behind that. It worked last week. So I understand the logic there. Before we get into the other props that we have for the Christmas games, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, Kalshi. If you want to check out real money prediction markets that are legal in all 50 states, use Kalshi. Trade a ton of markets and sports, including the NFL, college football, college basketball, the NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can also trade props like first touchdown. And a reminder, they have other options besides sports. They have politics, entertainment, and even weather. Also, if you are new to Kalshi, great sign-up deal, courtesy of a promo code that we have. Get $20 if you use the code SGPN at sign-up. That's Kalshi, KALSHI, promo code SGPN for a free $20 at sign-up. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. So if you like pick'em entries, chance to win 5,000 times your entry. Pick a lot of options, higher or lower, on different player stats. Plus, check out the extra promos they have for the holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. Unwrap a ton of promos all throughout the holidays, so get some profit boosts, etc. on your entries. But a reminder, they also have a new offer for customers. Play just $5, get $75 bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finished going through the first couple props that we have for the show. Time to move on into my second prop for the games on Christmas. I'm going to go to the Cowboys game as they take on the Commanders. Give me CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 catches at -121. Lamb's had at least 6 catches in 6 of his last 8 games. Yes, Pickens had a crazy game against the Chargers. At the same time, Lamb had 6 catches and nobody noticed. But he's been great on the road against Washington over the years. He's had at least 10 catches in 2 straight road games against the Commanders. We've roasted this Commanders defense all season long. Adam, what do we think about this Commanders secondary?
We think they stink, but what we will say is that they're not as bad as this Cowboys team, but we think that this one really stinks.
Correct.
I didn't even know what to do because I was like, oh, so many Cowboys I could take an over on.
Yes, the point is the Commanders' secondary stinks, and we did see against the Eagles in their last game. They were sagging off of A.J. Brown on every single snap in the first half so badly that Brown just ended up with, I think he had 8 catches in the first half, and all of them were within about 5-10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Well, part of that's by design.
Correct. That's my point. That's why I want the receptions, because they're going to be sagging off, worried about getting burned, that a Lamb might just catch a bunch of passes underneath and end up with 7 catches for 80 yards. That's possible too. But the secondary stinks. I think 5.5 is a pretty low number for a very good receiver who has gone over this number in 6 of his last 8. I think it's a good play. I'm going to go with the Lamb over 5.5 catches, -121.
Yeah, I do like it. Washington has giving up the third highest completion rate to opponents since week 9.
Yeah.
And their catchability rate, I believe, is the highest, which is, third highest. So it just basically, it's very easy to catch passes on this team.
Yeah, so that kind of coincides with my Lamb play. Moving on to your final play, what do you like?
Let's see. Am I going to stay in that game or am I going to move? I'm going to stay in this game. We're going to go with Debo over 17.5 longest reception. Over in 7 of his last 8. Dallas is the 7th worst yak per reception since week 9. That's what Debo does. I think whoever's the quarterback, it's going to make it pretty easy to give Debo the ball and let Debo do some things with it. 6th highest check down rate that they're causing. He's just a dynamic target. And guys in the slot and these types of receivers have killed the Cowboys over the last few weeks. Ladd had 25. Amon-Ra Ladd had a 25-yard reception. Amon-Ra had a 35-yard reception. Devonta Smith had a 41-yard reception. And so I think that he also, while he was a member of the Niners, he had a 47-yarder against them last year. And this is the same exact defensive unit. So give me, they last year had quarterback issues because everybody was hurt. So I'll comp Josh Johnson to whoever was starting last year. So give me Debo Samuel over 17.5 longest completion.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this Cowboys defense the entire season. I think they're one of the worst defenses of all time. So, yeah, Debo can get loose on one play. It's really just what you need. That's it. Yep. So I like the play. Moving on to the same game, actually, even though we have been roasting the Commanders defense and now you roasted the passing defense for the Cowboys, I am going to go with the ground game of the Commanders. I'm going to go with Chris Rodriguez, longest rush, over 12.5 yards. At minus 115. I didn't mind the overall rushing yards, but I do wonder if they're going to be giving Merritt some touches, etc. But I think that Rodriguez should have at least one good run. He's had a 15-plus yard run in 3 of his last 4 games. Went over this number against the Eagles last week. We know the Eagles' run defense is significantly better than the Cowboys' run defense. The Cowboys, though, have allowed a 14-plus yard run to a running back in 4 straight games, and Mariota has a hand injury. Commanders should lean more heavily on the ground game if Johnson does start again. But Rodriguez, a physical runner, think he'll break some tackles anyway, but I do think he'll end up getting one good carry minimum in this game. The Cowboys' run defense is really, really bad. If you watch the game against the Chargers about 2 days ago, they don't want to tackle. Like, nobody on this team wants to tackle. So I think that Rodriguez, with his physicality, can have at least one solid run. Give me Rodriguez, longest rush, over 12.5 yards, minus 115. So
I think he's great. I like C-Rod.
Yeah, I think he's solid. I mean, they're on a bad team and all, but they should definitely give him some carries. So I like it. But anyway, moving on to the miscellaneous section. Any bonus plays you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I like Knicks over 34.5 longest, just against this Chiefs team that hasn't been good at stopping anybody in that sense. So I have it minus 108. He's gone over 40 in 5 of his last 6. He's also over this in his last 2 against the Chiefs. Both of those were in Mile High, but it wasn't a dead team. He had a 34-yarder against the Chiefs last year, so I think that he could get to 35 and it's fine. So that's a little miscellaneous one, but like I mentioned at the top of the show, yes, Sean is asking about your AFCON pick.
Well, it's a bit annoying because Senegal has 13 shots in the first half.
We've already lost this play?
No, we didn't lose. There's like 5 minutes left, but Botswana's goalkeeper has 6 saves. Like, Senegal's been all over him the entire half. The goalie just turned into a lunatic. But yeah, I mean, Senegal's had a bunch of chances. They had a breakaway 5 minutes into the game. They didn't score. They had a bunch of chances. So we'll see what happens in the last 5 minutes. But Senegal should have had at least 1 goal by now. I'll put it that way, but it's fine.
No, I don't have any other stuff. As I mentioned before, for some weird reason, I'm like 7-1 on any plays that I've given out that are like 20-1 or higher. I like hit that pleaser with Kramer last night. So that's like that was like 40-1. And but I'm like 3-3 on all my props and doing that. So I'm kind of lowering down the volume here. I don't really have a ton of miscellaneous plays. I don't really like any ladders. I'm not going to try to force anything. You and I. Oh wait, Senegal just scored. Oh, Nit, look at that. Boom.
Well, the thing about watching it through the Russian link while we do a show is I'm like 3 minutes behind. So I might see the goal now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's a goal. All right, we're into the second half.
Look at it. All right, and we move.
We're into the second half.
All right. Great.
See, I didn't realize you mentioned it because they might have already scored. I thought you were mentioning it because...
Nick Sasaki. You know, Henion's Sasaki.
I was going to say, I thought Senegal has been killing them the entire game. Like, they deserve the goal. On to the second half. We move.
And to the second half. Yeah. So anyway, guys, not a ton of other plays because Scott and I will have... Well, we're going to be shifting things to be focused a lot more on hockey. And then we are having a show on Friday that my wife is like super pissed that I'm doing, but whatever. She's going to spend the money, then we got to make the money. So,
especially holiday season.
Yeah, dude. Do you know how much do you know what I'm looking at over here?
It's an expensive parlay. That's what it is.
No, but look at this.
Okay. Fun fact, I've never seen the other side of your basement.
Oh, yeah. This is like the other side of my basement.
I love those boxes. They really tie the room together.
That's literally presents I got to build.
Nice.
Yeah.
Build, what are you, IKEA?
DJ stuff. There's all my other things.
You're building presents? What are you, IKEA?
You see this thing right? Let me see.
Yep.
Right there, underneath the Hilly's hat. That is a flask with that Sean Hardy gave me for my 40th in 2020. That says Philly Special on it. And
wait, your 40th? I thought we just celebrated your 35th.
No, we didn't. We did do my 45th, and 5 years ago, I got a really lousy 40th because we were all on lockdown, and Sean Hardy got me a Philly Special flask that I put tequila in that I still have not taken tequila out of. So whatever, I assume it's still fine. I just drink it occasionally. So anyway, that's it. Now you've seen the rest of the room, but that's what I have to deal with after all this.
I am not doing any of that, but I'm headed to Florida.
I know.
So that's what I'll be up to.
This time, not to watch your roommate play poker.
This time, no. Well, I actually played last time. I made a couple $100. Sam's been crushing it, by the way. Good for him. Sam's been on fire.
I know.
He actually stayed an extra day at Parks yesterday because he was doing so well. So he stayed an extra day. Yeah, he made like $3,000 on the trip. So good for Sam. He's been doing pretty well. But either way, I dabble. So I'll probably play a little bit in the Hard Rock while I'm over there in Florida. But anyway, any other bonus bets you want to mention? Any ladders we want to build? I mean, I'm tempted on you're building other stuff for actual holidays. So if you want to pass on the ladder, that's fine. It's with these quarterbacks, not really. Yeah, I fully understand that. Honestly, instead of a ladder, if you wanted to just pitch it. Oh, actually, I do have a ladder that I do like, but the line's not out yet. I think we should do a Nick Bonito sacks ladder. I'm fine with that. I thought you were going to say a team sack ladder, so I can. We don't have that. They don't. No, I know they got rid of the markets, which I hate. But I think we should do a Nick Bonito sacks ladder. He's had I think he has 5 in his last 3 games against the Chiefs. Yeah, I can completely get behind that. So. Yeah. I don't know if there's lines out on that yet. There weren't last night. Let me look. Usually defensive props for weekday games are either like Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. That's usually when they drop it. So there you go. Nah, it's not up yet. By the way, Sean, fun fact, he's throwing out Kolek double-double. I did look at some NBA stuff last night. I was considering it. I did not take it, but I thought about it. Sean, dude, tune in for Sean's at Knicks Film School. Tune in to at Sean with a W _ The underscore is extremely important, or you end up following somebody, some like MAGA Sean with a W, and he's like a completely different type of personality. And he does not do Knicks film. He does not do Knicks content, but Sean knows his Knicks stuff. Sean knows his team really well. Yeah. But yeah, I did look at Kolek double-double. I did not pull the trigger on it, but I actually did check that out. So any other bonus bets you want to mention, or is that it? None. Cool. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for our 3 plays and a little bit of extra there at the end. A reminder, though, before we get into our best bets, that we are brought to you by Novig. So you want to check out the #1 rated sports prediction market in America, make sure to check out Novig, get some reduced juice on some markets. So compare the lines to sports books. You'll find Novig has a lot of great prices to use. But a reminder, if you download the app, get $50 and you spend just $5 if you use our code SGPN at sign up. Get on the actual Novig, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They've been great this NFL season, especially on props. They've been really good at identifying when to fade players, etc. But a reminder, they also have different sports. They have college basketball. If you want to check out some model picks, they have a lot of options for models. If you want to experiment, you can build your own model. You can copy one from the leaderboard, or you could also check out the house model. So once again, a lot of ways to get involved. But a reminder that you can use it for different sports as well. They have the NFL. They have, once again, baseball. They have WNBA. A lot of options if you wanted to consider it. I am going to mention one rhythm play here. The guy's injured, which is not good for my fantasy team. He's been playing through, but they still like his unders. I know it got there last week. They like Javonte Williams under 77.5 rushing yards at minus 114. I can get behind that. If the Cowboys rout him, they might be using a bunch of scrubs anyway. But Williams has a bad neck.
I also love Malik Davis.
I was going to say Williams has a bad neck, so you might see Davis get a bit more run. And the Commanders' defense, they're bad at everything. There's a chance they just let Dak go nuts and call it a day. Like, that might be it, so we'll see what happens. But Javonte Williams, under 77.5 rushing yards, is Rhythm's play for these games at minus 114. A reminder, though, if you want to check out Rhythm, nice discount with us, because if you use the code SGPN25, we download the app, you'll get a nice 25% off your first month. That's Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 for 25% off your first month at signup.
And if you're a current Rhythm user, do a review.
There we go. So
awesome.
if you are a member of Rhythm already,
we would love for you to do a review.
Honestly, even if you're not a user of Rhythm, if you just want to support the sponsor, you can do that too. But either way, check out Rhythm once again with the deal that we have at signup.
HB Sports Video, I think that's the longest rush. He has longest reception, I thought, right?
For who?
For Pacheco in the chat.
Pacheco, I have longest reception under on Pacheco, and I have longest rush over on Rodriguez.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finished going through our props for the Christmas games. Time to move on into the best bets. Adam, what is going to be your best bet for the show?
Let's go Debo. Let's do it. Everyone should watch Friday and then cheer for a Debo over 17.5 longest reception. I just think he's going to be quarterback proof for whatever's going to happen. They were getting him super involved last week too. So I think that there's a lot of ways to get there against a Dallas team that doesn't really tackle well.
Yeah, I did want to ask you, since you brought it up, how many of the Friday movies have you actually seen?
I saw the first two, and then I guess they did one where it's Friday, Christmas. They did, how many are there? 4?
I honestly don't know. I saw the first one, and then Fridays. I didn't see the second one, and the third one was...
There's next Friday. I saw Friday. Saw next Friday, which had the remix of You Can Do It, and I saw that in the movie theater my freshman year.
How many had Chris Tucker in it? I remember
they had Friday After Next, which was
Friday After Next. I think was without Chris Tucker. That was the other guy. I don't remember if Tucker was in the second one. I don't remember.
No,
I saw the first one.
It's
Get Up, Craig.
Because they switched up. He wasn't in the second one because remember he gets that letter and he's like, "Damn." He got because it was
they shipped them off.
They shipped it he ended up I think. He's like,
I don't remember if Smokey was in the second one because I didn't see the
Smokey's not in the second one because he hangs out with his cousins, right?
Okay. I thought that was Friday After Next, so I didn't know how many they were in.
What happens to Smokey? Yeah,
Sean's telling me that it was only one. Okay, cool. All right.
But he's in there because it's Mike Epps, who's really funny.
I remember Epps.
I've seen Mike Epps at Laugh Factory
well, that's why nobody complained that Tucker wasn't in the other ones because Epps was actually pretty good. So
Epps is great. Epps is fantastic. I thought that I didn't hate the second one. Second one has what's his name with the making gold records, and it's such a great. It's actually I might want to revisit that one.
I'll probably end up watching it at some point because I have seen the first one on TV, but I never saw the other ones.
Day. So,
there you go. But you're going Debo. Long story short.
You're going Debo though. Too.
Longest reception
in real life. Zeus Tiny Lister is dead. Everybody who fought Hulk Hogan is basically dead. But he was in the first one. He was
R.I.P. Macho Man. For my best bet, I'm going to go back to Pacheco, actually. Longest reception, under 8.5 yards. We have been roasting his pass catching for years. That's why Kareem Hunt still gets run on a given basis. Point is, Pacheco had one really good reception yet last week on a broken play. Broncos are elite against running backs in the pass game. They're allowing the second fewest receiving yards to opposing running backs. Pacheco, besides the one broken play, had 5 other catches last week for a total of 10 yards. I think 8.5 is too long for a longest reception for him. Give me the under 8.5 yards for the Pacheco longest catch at -125. Anyway, moving on to Underdog. Adam, do you want to recycle anything, or do you want to just build it from scratch?
Let's build from scratch. Sorry, I now have gone down like a Pinky quote thing because Pinky was a very good ancillary character in that entire situation.
There's
Pinky.
so many references in the first one.
It's so great.
Pop culture references.
It's Sean's back channeling me stuff about Chris Tucker, which is true.
I still remember back in the day. People don't say it anymore. I remember when Bye Felicia was a thing.
Bye Felicia's, yeah, it's from that.
And I didn't know where it was from at the time. And then I watched the movie and I'm like, that's where it's from? Like, I had no idea. So, yeah,
awesome.
A lot of references.
It's a good flick.
No, it's solid. Solid stuff. And
right,
Bernie Mac, RIP's in the movie.
That's right. Okay. Let's look up. I'm going to look up. I'm using a couple things to look up. Let's find some plays for us for this Underdog.
Well, I want to use the rhythm one for Javonte.
Okay, let's do that. Look at that.
Fun fact, even though Javonte is my fantasy team, is my RB3, I might be checking out the waiver wire because I don't feel great about using him.
Javonte Williams, lower 78.5 rush yards. You want to do, what do you think? You think Terry McLaurin does anything this week?
I hope not. I'm against him in the title game, in my fantasy week. But if I was going to go McLaurin, maybe it would be longest because I don't really know how many.
We could do that. Let's do.
I don't want to rely on Johnson for really an entire game. I'll rely on him for one play to not be an idiot.
Let's do McLaurin over 19.5 longest.
I mean, Johnson had a massive play. I know Ladd had a touchdown. That Cowboy secondary is useless. I mean, they can't stop anybody. So I'm fine with that.
And then you want to do. Okay, I got a good fun one. You want to do Pacheco under 4.5 first half receiving yards?
Sure. What a fun bit. What a fun bit. Unless you wanted to recycle the longest reception that I had, which is fine too if you want.
Let's just do this. I would do this, or I would do the under rush. I don't think he gets any yards.
Do you want to do the lower
like under his rushing yards? Like I don't think.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to do the lower rushing and receiving then? Because we think that he's not going to do anything in the air.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We'll do a combo. That's
50.
Fine.
Okay, yeah. So
by the way, thank you to all the comment section people telling me that Smokey went to rehab. So I appreciate that.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, he didn't get pinched. He went to rehab.
Okay.
Dude, what an active episode we did.
Yes.
The vibes are high. Okay, here's what we got. Javonte Williams, lower 78.5 rush yards. Terry McLaurin, higher 19.5 longest reception. Isaiah Pacheco, lower 50.5 rush yards. 5.5 payout. I'm just going to use all of our bonus funds, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we're using 75 to allegedly win 412.
Cool. There you go. All right. Before we officially end the show, Adam, can you just recap what your 3 plays were once again?
Yeah, they were RJ Harvey under 14.5 rush attempts. That's a rhythm play. They were Chris. Help me out with his last name again.
Oladukin.
15 plus rush yards plus 114, and then Deebo Samuel over 17.5 longest reception.
Yeah, so for my 3 plays, give me Pacheco, longest catch under 8.5 yards, -125. CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 catches at -121. And Chris Rodriguez, longest rush over 12.5 yards at -115. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. We'll see if we have an episode later in the week. I know you will.
We're gonna have it. We're gonna have it. It's just
we're gonna have it. The question is when. I'll be in Florida, so hopefully the Wi-Fi is good in the hotel.
I mean, I'm not opposed to you and I just wait. You're not going. You're gonna be in a hotel. Oh, you're actually with your family.
Yeah, I'm not staying in my grandparents' place. I visit my grandparents.
Okay. Well, if you have a Wi-Fi issue, we can also record it late.
It's fine. The hotel Wi-Fi should be okay. I'm gonna end up recording some tennis shows and stuff while I'm there anyway. So it should be fine.
Okay, that's fine.
So it'll work out. But either way, once again, we should be back later in the week for the Sunday games for Week 17. A reminder, we have no NBA NHL episode this week because we are doing a bonus episode, of course, for the Christmas NFL games. So he prioritized. But either way, until next time, find me on Twitter at Radio. Find him on Twitter at Here Rosenberg. A reminder, check out the Propcast on YouTube, SGPN Propcast. Also find it on Spotify or Apple, and check out the Propcast once again on Twitter at the Propcast SGPN. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.